Hello and welcome to today's morning market report brought to you by CommunityFT. So before we get into this morning's report, guys, as usual, please take note of our risk warning. Trading the financial market is inherently risky, so it's very important you're fully aware of those risks at all times and do mitigate against those risks in the market. So please take note of our risk warning. Okay, so let's have a look at a couple of points for today, guys, if that's okay. Let's look at the aftermath from the FOMC last evening. So what next for global markets? So we'll have a look at that in some detail, and we'll also have a look at a news release which is out today, which is the CAD core CPI. So there is a positive figure that is expected, and as usual, guys, we'll look at a series of charts and use some technical analysis just to potentially identify some opportunities. Okay, so let's start with the FOMC aftermath. So the news release was out last night, guys, and essentially the world regards the Fed as the central bank to the world, and it's because of the strength of the dollar versus its trading partners. You know, it does lend itself to quite some concern, especially for emerging markets. So obviously the Fed decided to do nothing, keep interest rates at record lows, and let me just show you a nice graph here actually on Forex Factory, which will confirm exactly what I've been saying. So as you can see, guys, these were the interest rates back in 2007, 2008, and it's been at this less than 0.25% since 2009. Obviously, there is pros and cons as usual. There is real concern out there that this low interest rate environment will just cause, you know, bubbles, global bubbles in the global markets. So let's now apply this basically to a few charts. So let me show you. Let's have a look at some of the indices again from yesterday's decision. And as you can see, guys, this is the Dow, and there's been a firm rejection of price moving any higher after yesterday's decision. So let me actually take you down to a 15-minute chart. And as the news came out, the markets drove, you know, significantly higher, I'd say, and then we can obviously see what happened subsequently. So we've had a pretty sharp sell-off, and it looks like the market is going to continue somewhat lower. So this is the daily chart. So we're now back into this sort of range pattern. Who knows what lies ahead? However, the same kind of price action you can actually see across the board in the different markets. So the markets are, I suppose, at this point, viewing those somewhat negatively. So there's obviously a lot of caution and probably fear and anxiety out there. So let's wait and see. They're all ranging within these two bands. So it's just a case of wait and see regarding the global stock markets. And let's just take you back to the presentation. The second point is the CAD core CPI. So I'd just like to show you Forex Factory again. Let's take you down to this news release here. So there is an expected 0.2% increase, which would be the biggest increase since April. Sorry, there is another increase in June there actually of 0.4. So all we're simply saying is I would like to apply this perhaps to the dollar CAD, and to just show you that there has been a kind of structural failure to the downside at this point as of yesterday, although there was a sharp rejection of that price. But we could quite clearly see that there could be a potential for this trade to move down to the 28 level, where you can see those previous highs. So that could be an option there for the CAD if we get a strong figure in. And I wanted to show you the Euro CAD as well. We've seen a double top, a pretty significant double top with a very, very large dip in between. And if I zoom in a little bit more into this chart, we can quite sort of clearly see that the price has been respecting this kind of level, and it's actually created a couple of I guess, mini structures in the market. So that could be the first break, and this could be the significant second break. So just a couple of trades there to look out for. And you could argue that the CAD yen could be in a similar position. So if we get a breakout of this line, we could get a nice move to the upside once more. So that kind of concludes today's lesson, guys. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of insight. So all that's left for me to do is to thank you very much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you on Monday. Many thanks, and bye for now.